Welcome back, and in this video we're going to talk about how to import data into Cavalry and use that data to actually drive the animation or the visuals that you want to create. We're going to use Google Sheets, but you can also use CSV or even the Microsoft variant XSLS, I think. But we're going to use Google Sheets, and let's start. Before we import Google Sheets into Cavalry, we actually need to prepare one. So I already prepared one beforehand, which is some data about some cities. And before we can actually import it into Cavalry, we first need to make it shareable. So we'll press on share and then go to general access and set it to anyone with a link. Copy the link, press done, go back to Cavalry, and then right click in the assets window, import Google Sheets, paste it and press OK. And there we have it. Make sure if you're dealing with sensitive data, especially when you're dealing with personalized data like that is really GDPR compliant, figure out a way how to actually automate the Google Sheets towards an actual CSV so that your data stays private, because anybody with a link can now access that data. And sometimes the data is not something that you want to be shared publicly. So be aware of that, especially if you don't want to have any fines. In order to import data into Cavalry, we simply drag the spreadsheet into the scene window. We'll double click on the tutorial sheet. And then for now, we select city. We're just going to select the column that we want to output. And if you drag the connection into the string, you'll see the city name appearing. And I want to show you something really quick. The moment we put the text into a duplicator, it actually shows multiple cities. And what Cavalry does, it actually looks at every row, and for every index in the duplicator, it actually imports the data. But for now, I really just want to focus on importing data when you're creating multiple assets. I want to create an asset per city. So for now, we're going to skip the duplicator and we're going to skip indexes for now because that's a whole different topic. We're going to go just focus on creating a single asset and multiple variations of it. I made here a composition that we already can use. It's just a composition with a couple of text layers. And we're going to import our spreadsheet here again. And to make it everything a little bit nicer, let's put it in a group and call it data. Let's move it to the top. And in tutorial sheets, we're gonna select fixed row because we only want to do one row at a time. In this case, we're gonna select city, and then it's just a simple drag and drop into the city and put it in the string. And there we have it, Tokyo. And whenever we increase the row index, you see actually the names are changing. To drive this value, we'll use something called a value behavior. Value, and this is already connected. And the beautiful thing is, once we're actually going to duplicate this, and we're going to select country and drag the country to the country text layer and link it to the string, you actually see it's changing. And whenever we increase the value of the value behavior, you actually see both values are changing. Before we start adding the rest of the spreadsheets, let's call it first cities to make sure we're dealing with the right layers. But there's a problem right here. Currently, we see here it's being used 3 times. But if you have a different spreadsheet and you want to change it, or you have a new data set, you individually have to change every single spreadsheet. And that's a little bit annoying. So for now, we're going to use an asset array, and we're only going to use one index. Let's look for an asset array. And in the asset array, we drop that spreadsheet. We'll turn off auto index. And what we do now is link the asset array to the file and replace the connection. We'll do that also for the cities. Whenever you change the spreadsheet, you only have to change it at one location instead of the amount of columns that you have. Now let's populate the rest of the strings. We'll just go to countries, duplicate, double click, give it a name, population. We look for the column called population, and then we repeat the process. But currently we're having a little bit of an issue because it now shows, let's see, 13 million something, but it's really hard to read. So we need to do something about that. And the best way to fix that is using the string generator. So let's call up the string generator. And let's put it inside the population as a child. So it's nicely, neatly organized. It already has the generator value, which is what we want. But there are so many other options. You can choose a random number, random date, etc., etc. But in this case, we'll use the value. And we'll connect the population to the number and add it. And now with that string generator, we go back to the population layer and drag the result into the string, replace the connection. And as you can see now, it changed. We'll remove the population layer from our overview right now, and we're just going to focus on the string generator. We're going to remove the precision because we don't need the exact precision, and padding we can put it at 0 because it's not really relevant. And then you have here, it's called the thousands separator, and in this case I'm going to use a period, and now it's actually properly readable format. And this is how you can still manipulate data within Cavalry, because very often when you're getting data from a different source like spreadsheets or even an API, you just get the integer, the raw number. But that raw number is great for code, but it's not that great for as a human to read. So with the string generator, we can easily adjust the values. We're going to repeat this process also with the size, the surface area of the city. We're going to go to population in this case, and we'll duplicate this. We'll rename it size. To make it easier, we also change this to population string generator and size string generator. The funny thing is, the string generator is already adapting the size. We just need to change to area squared kilometers. And you already see it completely changing. We'll plug it in into the size string, and there we have it. However, we still have an issue, is that it doesn't say anything about squared kilometers. So I think, and I'm now really ashamed that I don't know this out of my head, but let's say it km2. We're using the suffix to add some text. It's great if you're dealing with euros, dollars, or whatever. You can actually add a prefix or a suffix to it. I want to do one last thing before we finish this tutorial, is we're going to connect it already a little bit with the render manager, and I'll show you why I used a value behavior to drive the row index. If we open our render manager, we can add this composition to the render manager. We'll cover on a later moment how we're going to use rendering, but for now I just want to connect the dynamic index to the value. And whenever we're incrementing through the whole spreadsheet, you will actually see the stats changing. For now, I'm going to put it back to 0 because I don't want to go every single time back to my render manager just to check all the variations. That's why I actually made this value behavior, because then I can use the offset and check by manually how the stats are doing in this combination. We can easily go through all the options. Well, it looks great. And that's why I'm using the value behavior, because in the beginning, you might just drag the dynamic index and put it directly in the row index, but you'll have to maintain it for every single spreadsheet, which is annoying. So like the asset array, I'm actually using the value behavior to drive the row index of every single spreadsheet. Let's rename it dynamic index input. And let's rename this also to spreadsheet input. Awesome. This looks organized. And in the next tutorial, we're gonna add another spreadsheet to make stuff even more complicated. See you at the next tutorial.